Greetings and welcome. We're coming to you live, and I think this is going to be the most exciting thing that you may be seeing in a very, very long time. So, one of the best premium phones, an awaited phone for much time now, the Vivo X90 series just got launched, and now it's available to buy. And I have three people that I've been really wanting to talk, and I'm sure all of you have been waiting for this one. So the phone's available to buy, but what's so special about this phone? What did they do different? Hardware, software, camera technology, what did they do for India that is very, very different? So we're going to find out today. So gentlemen, thank you so much. Welcome to this very interesting live. I'm going to start off straight away with a general question about the phone to all three. And that is, Vivo's now gone to the forefront of camera phone technology. People now expect that if it's a Vivo, it has to have amazing camera stuff. And now this is your top of the line, the camera phone. What have you done so different that people are going to go, wow, I want this now? Let's start with you.
So Rajiv, one of our core philosophy is, to empowering our consumers to so that they can showcase their perspective, do storytelling through our imaging, right, mobile imaging. And one of the mission what we have when we were developing X90 series was to bring, to create joy for our consumer through this superior yet simplified technology. In X90 series, what we have done differently at hardware level, Zeiss 1-inch main camera, the IMX989 sensor, right? The ever highest sensor which can go into a smartphone. Portrait effects to make them better, we have actually put the IMX663 sensor, right? So for us, it's not just the megapixel game when it comes to X series, it's the sensor, aperture,
But define one thing for me. I mean, this is great stuff, and we've been doing it in our reviews, and I'll talk in more in depth with this. Why do you call the tagline extreme imagination?
Oh, very, very pertinent question. Because again, we got inspiration from our consumers, right?
Okay.
For every innovation, consumers, we keep it at the core, right? Consumers, especially who buy our X series devices, they have those hidden potential of, and they were struggling to unleash their potential and unleash their creativity. Right, and we thought, why not, enable it by simply saying extreme imagination. This is the phone you need to catch hold if you have an imaginative world and you're struggling to unleash it. This is the phone you need to.
You're saying that at one point I could imagine it, but my phone couldn't execute it. Yeah. My camera couldn't execute it. Now this one can.
So we are basically, extreme imagination is basically going what beyond the eyes see. So we are enabling the camera to see what people cannot see even in low light. For example, with our night mode, you cannot see something with your eye, but your camera can see it with the extreme night vision.
So that's extreme in every
like astro mode and handheld astro mode and features like that. We are able to give the users to imagine everything and then create it using their phone.
And everything that they're talking about, if you're not familiar with some of them, you must have seen it in my review. But otherwise, of course, we're going to talk about it here, and we'll do it in very simple terms. So don't think, oh my God, this is going to be just jargon and a lot of tech talk. This is the kind of stuff you're going to be using and shocked when you use it. According to you, X90, what excited you? What did you think you've created with it that is the forefront of camera technology?
I would say that we are now closing the gap between the hardware and the software. People expect more than just pure image quality. They expect tools to express their creativity. And in X90 series, we included so many tools that enables that, and that's really amazing for me.
Okay, and I'm going to go more in depth into finding out what those tools were, how did you create them, what difference will it make to the customer? That's all they care about, right? I mean, what you did in your labs is interesting to me, to them, what can it do for them, right? Now I'm going to pin each of you down to one. That's where this game gets interesting, and the best part in live is that, I can ask for anything and say only one. You have to do that, right? So, there's been a lot that happens every time an X series phone comes out from Vivo. Right? You've done hardware that is cutting edge innovation, gimbal in a phone, a special chip put into a phone, Zeiss lenses that have never been done before. I'm going to pin you down to your one favorite but hardware innovation in the X90. I'll start with you.
Okay, I think the portraits, because for the first time in X90 series, we have put in the 50 megapixel portrait camera with IMX758 sensor. Okay. And that too with f1.6 aperture.
Right.
Because portrait is something which really a consumer value. These flagship consumers who buy our flagship devices, they, the most common word we hear from them, portrait is something they look for, and it's portrait is a normal story in every phone, but how we have made it different is because of these sensors and aperture. This time we have made the bouquet much more stronger. We have got 6 Zeiss style portrait, and the newest being the Cine Flare portrait. I'm sure consumers are going to love it.
Yeah, no, I think that was great, and I think all the 6, there are 3 of my favorites, but I won't tell you which ones. Okay, I'm going to pin you down to one. What's that one hardware innovation that you're like seriously excited for consumers to try?
I think the 1-inch sensor, and 1-inch sensor with the aperture of 1.7, which has not been done before. So you have such a huge sensor, and on top of that you are able to absorb so much light because of the 1.75 aperture. We are able to get much more details to create different kind of scenarios and cater to different kind of scenarios for all users. So I think hardware wise, that is the sensor, the 1-inch main sensor is a huge advantage.
I think so too, because eventually when consumers start to understand what a game changer a 1-inch sensor can be inside a phone.
Yeah.
For you, what's the big one?
I would say it's a very invisible thing. It's T-star coating that we have now with introducing 7 lenses having ALC coating. It's an atomic layer deposition here that is a really outstanding anti-reflective coating, never seen before.
Right. No, and we've seen what the T-star coating can do. Now, just because you spoke about the lenses, I want to find out, and any one of you can answer this question. Why do you need the first lens to be glass? What big difference did it make?
It's very important because we are pioneered in the mobile imaging, right? For every, particle of light which gets into the sensor, it must reach the sensor and give you the enough light, right? So, why we have put that high transmittance glass lens at the very first place? Because it actually the light when kicks in, it lowers the dispersion. And it has got the best Abbe number, 81.6 Abbe number. So higher the Abbe number, lower the dispersion and maximum transmittance happen. That's why we put the high transmittance glass at the very first place.
Right. I'm going to ask you to just maybe look into that. And by the way, we're shooting all of this on the X90 series phones. That's the best part. This entire live is coming to you on X90 series phone. Can you explain to people if this same glass lens was a proper lens on maybe a professional camera, what would this cost? And with the kind of, I mean, because I know that number and it astounds me that now we're starting to get all this in a phone. So, but I want you to look directly into that one.
For example, it's a 24mm f1.7 lens. If you're trying to buy that for a professional camera, that will cost you thousands of dollars.
Yeah, you cannot even believe how expensive it is. You're getting it inside a phone as the first lens which actually the light actually cuts to. Now to you, right? You spoke about many things that you were able to do, and you spoke about the fact that you've been able to give 6 different kinds of portrait effects, right? And very interestingly, when you and me were speaking about it earlier, you said the interesting part is that that's what Zeiss has spent their entire life in trying to cut those flares away, right? So is this a contradiction that you have to bring it back in and take it away, and only a phone can do it, because otherwise you have to have special lenses that you add on, right?
Yeah.
So is this a contradiction, or is this advancement?
Yeah. On one hand, it's a clear contradiction, because adding flares is exactly the opposite of reducing it with T-star.
Right.
But it's an addition because now we are doing it in a controlled way. In the past, the flares were unwanted and more or less by chance. Now we create the flares in a way that we want to have it in the image, and that's the difference.
No, I think it's great because, we were talking about cinematic flare. People in movies love it. They have to screw a lens on, but it's there at all times then. Here, with a touch of a button, it's actually gone. This is just specifically to you because I know this is your super passion, right?
Yeah.
What have you done with the software algorithm, the computational part? What's the magic this time that X90 has that has never been seen before?
So the magic first starts with the V2 chip. So we are able, because of the DLC, we are able to schedule a lot of AI algorithms that we are running, and we are able to do, for example, AI skin, AI HD, that's for our portraits.
So
to make
explain it to people in terms of when they're taking a picture,
Uh-huh.
what's the result? When you say skin, when
Yeah.
you say, just explain, you're taking a picture, what happens?
So AI skin is kind of a skin enhancement beauty-like algorithm, but it's not a traditional beauty algorithm where it just makes your face flat and loses all skin texture.
Correct.
So we have used a neural network machine learning algorithm, and like we retouched thousands of pictures before and afters, and we taught the neural network to how to retouch.
And again, before we started the live, when we were just talking, you were talking about the fact that this is how professionals who touch up pictures
Yes.
would actually do this to make it the most natural.
Yes.
And you're saying that now with your algorithm and computational
Yes.
stuff, you can actually pull that off in the most natural manner.
And in real time. So for a professional retoucher, it will take a few hours to do a picture. We are able to do it in real time because we have an AI retoucher inside your phone. AI HD is basically finding the right places on your face, for example, to sharpen up so that the details on your face, the texture of your skin is as closely represented to the real thing in all scenarios.
So you would say in computational, that's the big jump forward that people will immediately be able to see.
Yeah, and also in night. So like our night, because we have a bigger sensor now, so we are able to play with more light. We are able to improve the noise reduction and improve the overall details that we can capture in the night scenarios and also night portraits. So I think that one also is a big software jump that we have taken this time.
Okay, excellent. So we are reaching the conclusion that this is a dramatic move forward, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm going to come down to, and this is, you can choose whatever you like. I'm going to try and pin you down now to 5. Okay, maybe 2 from you, 1 or 2 from you, 1 or 2 from you. On everything else about the phone, it doesn't have to be about camera, but you must be having other favorite features. I can tell you 1 or 2 of mine. I love the look of that vegan leather. I find it fantastic. I love the way you've got that band which says Extreme Imagination. I'm sorry, I'm taking away a few, but I want to make it as difficult as possible for you. I mean, you're the 3 big experts that I have today as a big exclusive out here. So now we'll try and achieve 5. Let's say I've started it off. I love the look. I even joked about it, that as soon as you take the phone out, the first, you were asking a lot of people, what is your first impression? I was thinking that even though it may not be, but the look is now way more premium, and it gives that's the first thing you feel as you take it out.
Yeah.
Let's try and do, so the design, big tick mark. Let's try and do 4 more.
Okay.
It can be any part of the phone that we may not have discussed till now.
Okay, one of my favorite is Zeiss Landscape and Architecture. Right, again coming in from Zeiss, right? We collaborated, we teamed with the Zeiss R&D team, and we built it. And the thought behind that was, people who buy our devices, they may not be a professional photographer, but everyone wants to see that professional photography side of it. So, even a normal photographer with this mode can actually do the pro photography. What it does is, in a single snap, this Zeiss Landscape and Architecture mode transform your mundane surrounding into an artistic, very miniature wonderland sort of stuff, right? Directly straight from our fairy tales.
Which I have seen professional photographers do, and it takes them so much of artistry, the angling, the lenses, and the amount of setup
Right.
get one
Absolutely.
picture. And I've seen the results, I've done it myself. You can do it again with the press of a button. right?
Absolutely. So
I did a
that's one of
street
my
shot.
feature, because the beauty of this feature is you can add even the Zeiss bokeh effects on this Zeiss Landscape and Architecture
Okay, so
mode
we've
output.
got 2. I love the design. That's the second one from you. Do you have a third, or?
I have another one because there's too many things to talk about
But
it.
the reason why I do 5 is because customers have to take decisions based on what is immediate
Yeah,
to them.
yeah,
You can
absolutely.
every phone can have 20 amazing things.
So the second best thing I like about this phone is the night sports mode, because that's where
Night sports mode, so you're being very
right,
specific.
but while there are others brands were still working to get the sports mode correct, we have gotten another level, created another benchmark, the night sports mode. For all these fast-paced scenes, especially in low light, every split second counts. So with our algorithms which we have built in the X90 Pro Sports mode, the night sports mode, you're able to capture those breathtaking shots, even splashes of water to the fireworks. You will be able to take breathtaking night shots.
Which is tough, because the very fact that you're taking doing night photography, what the camera is doing inside. Fast-moving images should blur.
Yeah.
Right.
You're literally changing that.
Yeah, and top of that, we were able to achieve that with the zero shutter lag speed.
Yeah.
That magic would have been possible just and because of the zero shutter lag.
We're down to 3.
Okay.
Next one. The
my
fourth. That has to be a really big one for
favorite
you.
feature is the handheld astro mode. So I love astrophotography. If I have the chance of being a place where I can do astrophotography, of course in India is not very easy to do, right?
So what he's referring to, of course, is a clear sky.
Yeah.
So, thoda mushkil ho jata hai.
Yeah, but the thing is, we have to put it on a tripod and use a big lens and put it on a camera, and even at least you need to put it on a tripod, even if you are doing it with a phone. But now with our algorithms that we are able to do it handheld and still get like sharp stars, sharp foreground, sharp details, that is itself a huge innovation. And for people who travel to the mountains, specifically like in Ladakh or Spiti and all, I think that scenario will be amazing for them. Yeah.
Okay, so that's something, like you said, I have not been able to try out, but I've seen some results that you'd shown me, and
Yeah.
those were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
We have 4. You get the last word.
Okay.
Your most favorite feature that you love.
Beside that beautiful camera setup, there's one feature I really love. It's a display. It's for the first time an individually calibrated display so that you really have natural colors. You see is what you have captured, because that is absolutely new. You always had some deviation in color, and now you have the real color on the display, and that is really amazing for me.
Okay, excellent. And I'm going to add a 5.1 to it, as you've spoken about display. I love the fact that now that if you want to do, cut the little bit of blue light, then I used to hate the fact that my phone used to look like it's actually got, maybe some kind of jaundice or something, all yellow. And that's what it used to look like. It was a jaundiced feeling of yellow. I still know that it's protecting my eyes, but it's not gone into this crazy yellow, which I think is again very intelligently done. So we've got 5.1 for you, right? Now very quickly I'm going to wrap because this is live and people have been with us for a while. So now let's talk about the very interesting thing that you've been doing, which is specific to India.
Yeah.
For instance, wedding portrait mode, where you took the bright grandeur and the vibrance and dynamics of a Indian wedding and made sure that they don't need to be retouched. The phone can deliver it, social media ready or album ready, right? Anything you've done specific for the Indian market in this one?
We have done that before, but this time we have spent a lot of time tuning our algorithms and our ISP for Indian skin tones.
Okay.
So the India X90 Pro version and X90, we have spent a lot of time getting the AWB, the skin tones, the brightness and the skin textures and everything to be as natural and as beautiful as possible. So the localization that we have done, I think that will really bring out the colors this time.
I think that's very interesting for people that you're concentrating that much on the Indian market that you're taking specifics, pain points, and solving them.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, last question. This is going to be the fun one. I've been waiting to do this one. So the X series, especially the Pro version, almost always now for the last few years has one camera phone of the year. Not just with us, across the board, right? You think you've done enough this year? You know the competition now. You know what they have out there. You know some of it will still come out also. I mean, the year is, yet to end. Quite a few months to go. You think you've nailed it to be camera phone of the year 2023? Look, the obvious answer is yes.
Okay.
But as soon as you're going to say that, I'm going to say, but you know the competition, right? Enough for you to last through the year?
I think, so far, whatever claims the best camera phone of the year, right? I think the sheer credit goes to our consumer, right? The love, the trust, affection they've shown to our devices. We would like to continue. Self-praise is no recommendation, but I will say we are still, not yet done. We are still, because consumer needs are ever evolving, right? Today you meet a consumer, you find something, or tomorrow you meet, he may have a different need, right? So while, as a product managers, we always strive to do better when it comes to the mobile imaging experience, and whether it is building our own chipset, we took this time in X90 series, because our endeavor is always to delight our consumer when it comes to the mobile imaging experience, right? I will say we are still not yet done, right? And there are a lot of things to see. There are still, for that, I think I will just say stay tuned.
I will say yes.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah, no thought, immediate. Why
Because we are professionals and we also compare with competition,
that's
and
what
we know what's happening, and the tuning that we have done for the 989 sensor and the portrait sensor, I think I'm very confident in the algorithms. So especially in night and portraits, I think we will do a very good job this year.
What do you think? The partnership with you, is that going to enable the Camera Phone of the Year award again?
Definitely.
This time also we are going to continue. Sure.
No, I have a feeling you've got a really fantastic product. Thank you so much for being part of this live. Everyone out there must have absolutely loved it. But I have to tell you, before we say goodbye to you from this live, irrespective of whether you've ever tried a Vivo X series phone or not, the previous generation, do one thing. If you haven't tried what a Vivo X series phone can do, even if you're not in the market to buy it, just go to a store, a Vivo store or any other place that actually retails these. Get your hands on one and just play around with it for just a few minutes, and some of the things that we spoke about. Irrespective of whether you buy it today or not, you're going to be very impressed with where we, in terms of technology, have come. That little thin slab of a phone, what incredible innovation and technology has been put in to take camera phone technology to the next level. Thank you so much for being with us on this live, and we'll keep coming back. And of course, we'll be live with the X100 very soon.
Vivo.